And we're working. Alright, this is my last Raintree that I haven't done an individual video on yet. Stick around at the end here. I'm going to update my other two that I just repotted. They both just need a light trimming. And just kind of show you how they're doing. Should be pretty quick. This video here should be pretty quick too. I've been kind of bouncing around the idea. I mean, at one point, this is an air layer. This is about a year and a half old. At one point, I was just using this one as a sacrifice branch. This one popped out too, and it was even lower than the other one. So I decided, well, if I can get some thickness even lower, that would even be even better. I've been kicking around. It's hard to get the whole thing in the picture there, but I've been kind of kicking around the idea of perhaps saving these two branches and actually just kind of making it, you know, eventually like a low drooping canopy, and, you know, actually only having that much of trunk there. Just going to kind of wait and see how it develops, but I have noticed that, you know, and again, I actually see a lot of questions come up, and, you know, every question that you ask is always very specific to your species, your climate and your area and everything. The question is, how long should you leave a sacrifice branch on? And, you know, can it ever get too long? And actually, I think this one's trying to become the leader. You know, it's up. Actually, it's got some shoots that are even up higher than this. And it's pushing out more growth than anywhere else on the tree. So one thing I know I'm going to do for sure is just shorten this guy down quite a bit. I've got this branch here growing down. I was thinking about either cutting it off right to there or cutting it out, you know, cutting each one of these like halfway off just to save a little bit of that ramification there for when it comes back. And I think I'll do that because I can always change my mind and come back down there later. So I'm going to go ahead, take these off, try to think being kind of directional just a little bit, but not much because we're so far away, you know, or so deep in development here or whatever. So something like that, and I'm also going to take this guy down because I really do, you know, this branch is lower than that branch and much less thick. And since I didn't cut anything over here, the idea would be is that now this would kind of take over a little bit and become either just as thick or, you know, hopefully thicker because it is the bottom branch there. I could still one day cut them both off and just, you know, have a little tree there, and, you know, these will create quite a bit of thickness. You can see that the bark peeling a little bit. Some people get a little afraid when that happens. That's actually exfoliates and gets some different shading and coloring in there and everything. And that's what people like about them. And that happens when it's in a good growth rate. Alright, so that was a quick trim there. So I'm going to throw in a couple more here. Today's August 21st, I think. And this video was done on July 13th. So that's what, like 5 weeks. I repotted this guy. I did leave quite a bit of green on here, and you can see it just kind of continued on. This was the failed air layer in that it's kind of hard to see because of how much foliage is on there, but there is a dead piece. Well, that's probably the worst way to see it there. There's a dead piece right here, and that was the part that I'd given up on, and then it just kind of sprouted all this crazy growth. And so, you know, I don't know what kind of, you know, official style I can go with here, but I'm going to kind of go with just, it's going to be a big, crazy, wild, and unusual plant. But this, there's quite a bit of growth on this. This is a really thick branch that comes right out at the base. And then I've got these two small ones that go really up high. One of them is actually even coming from underground. It's not even coming from the, it's kind of coming out like a sucker. I don't want to keep it forever, but I do think that that'll kind of pull the nabari out a little bit. And I know around this dead part it's going to be a taper issue of some sort one day. So I think today I'm just kind of basically going to almost hedge prune it. Try to leave the apex is just really just got a bunch of little back buds in there and small growth. I'll leave most of that alone. I actually had these, I left these when I repotted so that it would keep the momentum going, and obviously it's got plenty of momentum going. So I'm going to slow down some of this outside momentum and really should allow the apex to really grow up in there. So, you know, these things, they shoot out long like that with just the opposites going, you know, the opposite leaves going all the way down. And then, you know, up here, they're real green and flexible. And closer you get to the trunk, of course, the more lignified the wood is. I'm just going to come up to where there's about 4 leaves or something and just kind of pop it off there. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do to all these. This is actually new growth, real small growth coming out of a woody part. This was a longer piece that I was letting keep its momentum. This may or may not be new growth, I'm not really sure, but I'm going to take that off anyway. And actually, I think I will just go ahead and pop that guy off there. And so, now you can probably see the dead piece a little bit more. The dead piece is kind of facing you that way, growing off to the side. You can see on this one here, too, some of the trunk peeling off there. Try to see if you guys can get a look at that. And that's that dead piece. Alright, and this one should be the quickest. This one I just repotted this guy 3 weeks ago. This one is tied in, but it's looking really good. It was just 3 weeks ago. I pretty much trimmed everything, and I actually left this one. This one was probably right about here. You know, you can see the distance there now, but I left that one as just kind of like the one branch to keep some momentum, and you know, it kept it. But I'm just gonna, actually today, I'm just gonna pop that one off. I mean, ordinarily, if I hadn't have done those other videos about, or you know, if I hadn't have checked out those other 2 rain trees today, I would have just done that out in my yard. But I thought you guys might like an update. It looks like this one's gonna get a nice nabari. I kind of looked at that when I repotted that in the other video. I'll include all the other videos in the comments.